ZigBee video doorbell system for analog devices. My name is Mohammed. This is Barbara, Charlie, and Saka. Apartment security is a growing concern among a lot of people, especially who live in big cities like New York and Boston. Apartment buildings implement a telephone-based system where you just look at when the visitor comes in, they look at the directory, dials in the number, and the person buzzes the person in. This is all. When an intruder posing to be a friend can easily get inside the building without the resident visually identifying who's coming in. So this is a huge risk, and although a lot of landlords do understand that it's a problem, but they're reluctant to replace the system with a camera-based one due to high replacement costs. So in order to solve this problem, we basically need a reliable wireless network with a device with a reliable wireless network and with video capabilities, so that we can increase the security of the buildings. As you can see, the system should be very easy to install because there won't be any wires needed to rewire the whole building, and there will be streaming images coming from the person who's standing at the door, and it will be low power without any bandwidth necessary, and it will be an easy to use system for both the visitor and the resident, in the sense that there will be only a few buttons located on the modules themselves. And I'll give over to Barbara to talk about how to do this.
The photo on your left is our main microprocessor development board. The analog device is ZigBee-Based. The main reason we chose this development board is because of its video capture and display capabilities. The Blackfin processor itself has a top speed of about 600 milliseconds, which is more than enough for our project. Another important feature of this was the ability to convert images to JPEG, which is necessary by transmitting images. Now I'll pass it on to Charles.
Okay, so this is an overview of our system as a whole. On the top corner, we have the door module here, where the guests try to enter the apartment by pressing a button here, and the camera will send the video to the Blackfin, where Blackfin will digitize that and transmit it over to the apartment module down here via ZigBee. What the apartment module will do is convert it back into TSC mode and display on TV. So this is a closer look at our door module. The guest here will use the onboard push buttons to select which apartments he wants, and from there a handshake request is sent to the apartment that he or she chooses. What the Blackfin will start do allow to digital conversions of the NTSC video and compress it into JPEG form for transmission. This is a room module with an apartment module. While it's running on idle while it's receiving, while nothing's happening, and once the handshake request been received, it will it will fire up the LED, telling the resident that someone's at the door, while the Blackfin start receiving the JPEG image and decompress it, and NTSC encode it back to the TV. While should the residents choose to admit the guest at the door, he or she can use the onboard push buttons, which will send a signal back to the door module, and that in turn will light up an LED showing the door is open.
We use the Visual DSP Plus 5.0 that came with a BF53030 board. 5.0 is the latest version available, and it is much comparable to Microsoft Visual Studio, and it has a compiler, debugger, image viewer, and microcontroller drivers. Image viewer is useful for checking the final images that are stored in external SD RAM of the Blackfin board. Now I'm going to talk about JPEG encoding and decoding. As Barbara mentioned earlier, ZigBee has a low data rate, and we wanted to minimize the transmission time. In order to develop encoding and decoding functions, we use libraries that are provided by analog devices that have built-in JPEG encoding and decoding functions. And we found the optimal frame size to be 320 by 240 pixels and the quality factor to be 40. The quality factor ranges from 1 to 100. 1 means small file size and 40 means quality, and 100 large file size and excellent image quality. JPEG images are stored in and read from the external SD-RAM of the Blackfin board. And now Mohammed's going to talk about capture and display functions.
Yeah. So as on your left, you can see the dual module image capture function. What happens at the beginning is that we specify the size of the image that's supposed to be captured from the camera itself. Then we call the capture frame function, and the ADV7183 decoder driver basically captures an I256 frame from the NTC video feed from the camera itself. Then that frame is encoded into JPEG image, and that JPEG image is sent to the buffer, ready to be transmitted over to the room module. On your right, you can see the room module display function, which is basically the opposite of what the display function does. It specifies the image size at the beginning that should be displayed on the TV itself, and calls the display frame function, and receives the image from the door module itself, decodes the JPEG image back into our, basically the door module communicating with the camera itself to get an image. Another thing that we were able to accomplish was image display, which in the case that the room module was able to display the same exact image to a TV. The third thing that we were able to accomplish was basically establish communication between the Blackfin to ZigBee, but we were not able to transmit any data from ZigBee to ZigBee transceivers. And